Hey guys, so today I am coming at you with a tag video, and this tag is called Who is Your High School Crush? And it was created by SB Nation. I'll put a link to SB Nation down below. I actually came across the actual tag on African Exports page. I know that I'm probably one of those I don't know. I be in my own little cloud of world on YouTube because I just come across people, but of course, it's like who doesn't know who SB Nation is? I didn't until today, but now I do, and I actually am now a subscriber. So, but I came across the tag and I thought it was an interesting tag, and he said you had to do it. So because he said that I had to do it, I guess I have to do the tag, right? So I'm gonna do tag. Um, Actually, in high school, I had two crushes, like two major crushes, because I was boy crazy in high school. But of course, being that I was a silent fat chick, um, yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. Wouldn't even much gonna happen. How about that? My first crush, actually, it started in fifth grade. This is what's so crazy. Like, this first crush started in fifth grade. I fell in love. Half Italian, half black guy. I had this thing for light skinned dudes with good hair and pretty eyes. And he had it all. He was half Italian, half black, pretty curly hair, pretty eyes, just so handsome to me. But I had this thing for him, and he lived in the neighborhood that we lived in, and I used to stalk the heck out of this dude. Like, I was crazy about him, but he had no clue. Now, moving forward, we just move forward, push forward to high school. I had a crush from fifth grade on up. On up. I just stalked him. Okay, he was a year ahead of me as far as grades is concerned, and he he ended up, he was in the band with my sisters. My sister and her best friend would always like taunt me and tease me, like, because they knew that I liked him, and they would always like try to embarrass me when he would come around. But he was real quiet, humble dude. Like, he didn't say, he was sneaky nasty. Like, he was sneaky dude. He was a bad, I won't say he was a bad dude in school, but he was a freak in school. He got his little thing on. He was all the girls. He was yeah. He was the latest man in high school, but he was quiet about it. He was real quiet guy, and he didn't really say much. And I liked that about him. I thought he was so handsome, and I loved the fact that he was real quiet. I had this thing for quiet dudes. So all through high school, I didn't say nothing, but my sister then would always tease me whenever we got in front of him. They would tease me, but he didn't really notice me. Of course, I'm the fat girl, and I was known as, like, they would call me by my sister's name, like I was just her little sister. That was it. I was her little sister. They would say such and such little sister. That's such and such little sister. That's it. That's how I was known in high school. I did not have my own identity until my senior year came, my senior year came to high school. I did not have my own identity. I was just her little sister because she was there and everybody knew her. She was big. She was in the band. She was quiet, but everybody knew me as her little sister. So we in high school we didn't talk much. Whatever. He graduated. He went on to a local school or whatever. So I'm still in school. I said I hunted him down. When I say I stalked him, I stalked the heck out of him. Like, honestly, I had one of his notebooks. If he watching this, he know now. He had this green and white little composition book that he would write in. And he left it in the band room one day. Well, not the band room, but the chorus room one day, and I found it. And I held on to that thing. I held on to that thing I until I graduated. I held on to it. I found it in like 10th grade or something. I don't know. I think I even held on to it a little bit longer. I don't even know, but I held on to it. I was a sophomore. And so he graduated. He went on to college. I found his. I came across his number. I don't know if somebody gave it to me or what, but I ended up calling him and I told him who I was and I said, I always had a crush on you, blah 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 whatever. So he ended up coming back to the school for one of our games or whatever, and we talked for a little bit or whatever, and that was it. And then it just like kind of died out. So I met my husband. I got my ex-husband. I got married, and I stayed married for a long time, and then I got divorced. Well, when I was going through my horn days, that's what I call them after the marriage. I was going through my horn stage. Um, because I didn't know what it was like to date because I got married straight out of high school. I met we hooked up again. I actually reconnected with him on Black Planet. I haven't even said that in a long time, but I met him on Black Planet. He actually sent me a message on Black Planet, not knowing who I was. Mind you, in school I was the big fat chick, and I'll post a picture in the end of this so you can see how I looked in high school. But I was like, is he serious? He gave me a compliment on one of my pictures that I had posted as my profile picture, and he said that you're very pretty to do this because he was a photographer. He's a photographer now, so he had he gave me a compliment. So I replied back. I was laughing. I was just laughing so hard because I was like, he didn't even know who I am. Oh my god, because I don't like my smile is still the same, and in general, but for the most part, a lot of people did not know who I was when I went back to my reunion. That's just how much weight I've lost. So yeah. So I sent him a message back, and I was like, oh wow. I called him out by his first and his last name because on Black Planet that you don't have your first and last name. Called him out by his first and his last name. Then I asked him how his brother was doing. Told him I had just talked to his mom because I worked for the cable company at the time, and I literally had just talked to his mom like when I talked to his mom like a week, maybe 2 weeks before he had sent me that, and I was like, yeah, she had called me about her cable, da, 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 da. And I was asking about his brother's wedding and all this stuff because I knew his brother. I ended up actually as an adult I worked with his brother. His brother was one of my supervisors, so that's another way I kept tabs on him. Secretly kept tabs on him while I was married. Wow, bad, huh? But yeah, so we ended up, we started talking on the phone, and then we would start hanging out and stuff. And I said, I'm gonna get that man, and of course I got that man. Yeah, them Italian boys. That's all I can say. The end. Like I said, that was in my hormone days, my bad days, like when I was my bad girl stage. Yeah, that was before I found Jesus. And I got my crush. Like I wanted, I got it, and it was worth the wait to get the crush. And to this day, we're really cool, but he's not my forte as far as dudes are concerned. He's a real quiet dude. I like to prey on the quiet ones, but yeah, he's a cool dude, and we're still friends. Now, my second crush, mind you, I met my second crush in 7th grade. I get a little emotional when I think about this one. And this stems all the way into adulthood as well, like as recent as the year before last. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. My second crush, I can remember the day I met him. I met him in 7th grade, home economics, Miss Williams class. He was wearing a white polo shirt, a pair of blue jeans, and some Nikes. I believe they were black and white. I remember the context of our conversation when we initially met, and I remember that he was an arrogant a-hole that I did not like, and we ended up getting paired up in a group, and I was really upset about that, but I think I was upset because I liked him, but then I thought he was an arrogant a-hole because he knew he had pretty eyes. Me and the light-skinned dudes with pretty eyes, I don't know, that was just my thing, and I had this crush on him because he was light-skinned dude with his Gumby haircut. Love the Gumby. He had his Gumby haircut with his parts in it. Well, when I first met him, I thought he was an arrogant a-hole, and I didn't really like him because he was just like so just. Ugh. So then, we became friends. We exchanged numbers, and we would talk on the phone like all night. But like back in the day, three-way was a thing. So I was never really on the phone. Like we would be on the phone by ourselves sometimes, but we had our other friend on the phone with us. Most of the time, it was somebody else on the phone. We would talk all the time or whatever. And I thought it was cute. Well, we call ourselves liking each other, but we never took it past the liking stage or whatever. So then he turns around, gets to high school. We're still friends or whatever. We're cool. We talk on the phone like all the time. We were like the best of friends in high school. We would talk all the time, but all the time I'm talking to my best friend and I'm like, I like him. I really like him, but I guess my thing was like I'm not his type. It's like he liked me, I liked him. We gave off the vibe of liking each other and everything, but it wasn't, I don't know. We just never really followed through it. Like we had our moment where we wanted to be together, but it just didn't work out, type thing. So, like I think in 10th grade, we were still going back and forth. We would talk, and then our friendship kind of like fell apart to a certain extent because he met this other girl, and we're gonna call her Eveline. Okay, because I'm not gonna say her real name. We're gonna call her Eveline. But Eveline came along, and Eveline liked him. Okay, Eveline, she liked him. Okay, and Eveline didn't like that we were so close. So Eveline had to do what she had to do to make sure that she pulled us apart. Okay, that's what Eveline did. Eveline did that. So Eveline pulled us apart, and he slowly became friends with Eveline. And he met his new best friend, like which is like good friends. I'm good friends with his best friend, and his best friend was cool, but Eveline, yeah, she didn't like that we were so close. So we stopped talking. We just fell out the map and stopped talking because of Eveline, because Eveline wanted him. And she didn't like that I was around him all the time. So from the end of like our 10th grade year up until our senior year, we didn't really talk much. I did like, we went back and forth. And in our senior year, I decided I want to go out for homecoming. Um, One thing about me, I was a big girl in high school, but I did whatever it was that I wanted to do. You couldn't stop me. I went out for pageant. I did homecoming. Whatever I wanted to do, I did it. That was just my thing. So me and I needed an escort for homecoming, and I'm like down to the wire, like the week of homecoming, and I don't have an escort. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to ask Jersey to be my escort because I was like, I'm almost 6 feet tall, and like I don't know what it was. Maybe it was in the water, but there was many tall guys that were students that were worthy of escorting people. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to ask Jersey. Jersey is the only halfway decent person, and that's not his name. His name's not Jersey, the other dude. But I was just about to turn Jersey's name in, and then I walked in the room, and he was in there, and he was like, "You didn't ask me," and I'm like, "You'll do it for real." So actually, he ended up being my escort for homecoming, and we started back talking a little bit, but it wasn't the same because Eveline was still in the picture, and Eveline didn't like the fact that we talked. But we kind of patched up our friendship, and then we graduated from high school and we went our separate ways. He got married to somebody, I married somebody different or whatever. Now, coming into the now, years later, we reconnect. Guess what? Actually, Facebook kind of brought us together, and his best friend kind of brought us together. His best friend and I reconnected on MySpace, and his best friend told him, have you seen me? Have you seen Gina? And he was like, so from what I understand, he told me that he had stopped me for a minute on MySpace, and then we started communicating on Facebook, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I remember when he got his Facebook page, it was January 1st of whatever year that was. I don't know. Oh nine, oh eight, I don't know. Whatever. And I was the first person to host to his Facebook. That just tells you right there, I still had a thing for him. Like, honestly, if my daughter was a boy, she would have his name. That's just how crazy I was about this dude. And he we ended up reconnecting or whatever, and it was just like we never stopped talking. We still had that connection. We were talking. It's like we picked up where we left off. And so we started talking or whatever, communicating back and forth. And, he lives out of state and he's military. So it's like, oh. So we started communicating and going back and forth. And he was like, okay, well, I want to see you. So he came to see me. And, things went from there. But when it came all down to it, he really is still the person that he was in high school. He hasn't changed much. He has trust issues, all of this stuff. But I have to say it like this, I care about him, but I don't have feelings for him. But it was a good deal. Like, and we're friends to this day. But it was just good, like, actually finally getting things out in the open. I told him how I felt about him. He told me how he felt about me, and he was like, we should have been did this. If we'd have did this, then things would have been so different. And we both were thinking the same thing, because here we are both divorcees. And we came back full circle, but excuse me. What it came down to is that, like, with both of my major crushes in high school, I actually did end up having my time with them. Unfortunately, with both, it didn't work. But it wasn't a bad thing that it didn't work. We just remained friends or whatever. And as adults, we're cool. Like, we're still cool people as adults. But I know I probably bored you guys to death. But those were my two crushes in high school. I could go on for days because I was boy crazy. When you're the quiet fat girl, you looking at dudes and you like, he fine, he fine, he fine, he fine. Ooh, what can I do with you? But yeah. But for the most part, those are my two major crushes, and I would like to hear yours. Who was your high school crush? How did it go down? Did you marry your high school crush? What? Were you able to hook up, or were you just stalking from a distance? Let me know. Hit me up in a video response or in the comments. Thanks again for taking the time to watch.